Hey everybody, it's Mike and welcome to Chip Damage. And today on the rare, the weird, and the expensive, we are talking about nobody's favorite Nintendo console. We are talking about the Nintendo Wii U. Yes. Now, it's well known that the Wii U is a huge financial failure for Nintendo for a multitude of reasons. The terrible name, the terrible marketing, the terrible launch lineup, the lack of third-party support. All of this added up to Nintendo's lowest selling home console. The Nintendo Wii U ended up only selling around 13.5 million units. Compare that to its predecessor, the Wii, selling about 100 million units. Yeah, it's pretty easy to see why Nintendo quickly rushed out the Nintendo Switch and focused all of its attention onto that system. But that's not to say that the Wii U didn't have some great games. It really did. And though many of those have been ported to the Switch, some haven't. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Some games that are still exclusive to Wii U, some collector's editions that were exclusive to Wii U, and a few titles I just want to bring to your attention, whether you're an enthusiast or a collector. So please join me as we go through the most forgotten Nintendo consoles library of rare, weird, and expensive games. But before we do that, anecdotally, story about this. The Wii U is the only system that I have ever attended a midnight launch party for. Yeah. I went to New York City with two friends and got this thing. I was one of the first people in North America to own this system. So I was not a huge fan of the Nintendo Wii through most of its life cycle, but near the end I really started to like it. I loved Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 and No More Heroes 1 and 2. And of course, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, and I love the eShop. Coming to the game late with the Wii, I ended up downloading so many old classic games that I missed, and you know what? It got me hyped for the Wii U. So, grabbed two buddies, and in mid-November 2012, we went down to the Nintendo World store in New York City and waited for 7 or 8 hours with a few thousand other people out in the cold to get this system. Yeah, it was frigid. If you don't know about the Northeast in the mid of November, it's damn cold. So we were standing out there and Nintendo did something really amazing. They had all their helping hands dress up as Mii characters and go out and hand everybody hot chocolate and grilled cheese sandwiches. Logistically, I don't know how they did that. Small miracle. If you happen to be, if you were one of the people in that line with us, if you picked up a Wii U at launch, please let me know. Please let me know your experience and how you enjoyed the hot chocolate and grilled cheese sandwich. But with that out of the way, and without further ado, let's jump into some Wii U titles, shall we? So the first title we're going to be looking at is a Nintendo mainstay character, and that is Kirby, and we're talking about Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Strangely, this is one of the few games not ported to the Switch yet. This is still a reasonable price at the time of this recording, but this is still a Wii U exclusive, and it's a solid little game. What it is kind of a tilt and tumble type of game where Kirby is a ball that you control mostly with the Wii U pad, and it has a very charming clay aesthetic. Kirby and the whole world looks like they're made out of Play-Doh, and it's Kirby, you know, it's made for kids particularly, so it's not a super difficult game, but it's a charming game, and if you're a Kirby fan and you have a Wii U, this game might be for you. There's just no other way to play it, so keep your eyes on this. I don't think this one's going to get ported to Switch because if it would have already been, and there's already a bunch of Kirby games out already on that. So yeah, this is probably going to remain a Wii U exclusive. That's Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. All right, moving on to an exclusive, an infamous exclusive. We are looking at Star Fox Zero. I hate this game. This game is atrocious, but I was excited for it before it came out in 2016 because I like Star Fox 64 like most people do, and it was going to be helmed, or at least the production was assisted with by Platinum Games, my favorite game developer. So, you know, I'm like, oh, all right, this is going to be cool. The whole idea with this was it was going to legitimize the gamepad, make the gamepad, as you see right here, a more legitimate form of control, and you would need it and enjoy playing it with this game, and that just wasn't the case. This game controls like garbage. I've always wanted to revisit it and try again, but I really couldn't get past like the first 2 or 3 hours of this game. It is still a Wii U exclusive, however, and a pretty beloved franchise, so you might be interested if you're a Star Fox fan. But the launch version was special because it not only came with Star Fox Zero, it came with this Star Fox game here, Star Fox Guard, which is a tower defense game where you play as Slippy and Uncle Grippy, as seen on the cover there, and you kind of swap between cameras and zap invading robots. Think like Five Nights at Freddy's mixed with like tower defense. It's okay. It might be better than the actual Star Fox Zero game. And I'm sorry if you're a Star Fox Zero fan. Maybe I just need to revisit this and try the controls again, but this one didn't capture me. Let me know if you like this game. Let me know if you actually like completed this game and what you think of it. But as of now, this one's not on Switch. I don't see it coming to Switch. So if you still want that, got to get it on the Wii U, and keep an eye out for Star Fox Guard, which only came, I believe, with the launch bonus editions. Moving on to a game that is not exactly a Wii U exclusive, but is the best version of the game that is only found on Wii U. And this is for my fighting game fans out there. There is Tekken Tag Tournament 2, the Wii U edition. Yes, so this was an early game in the Wii U's lineup. I believe it was a launch title. And it is a version of Tekken Tag Tournament 2, which, if you don't know, is like a dream match of all the Tekken characters brought together in a tag battle. And it's non-canonical. The story is just not there. It's just kind of a dream match of everyone coming together and fighting. And for the contemporary versions of this game, it also came out on PS3 and the 360. There was a lot of DLC for that game. That is all included on disc with the U version because it came out a little bit later. And it also had some bonus content. You could also play as the characters in Nintendo costumes, like Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Daisy costumes were just spread out amongst the cast. And you couldn't use that or use those costumes anywhere else. So this is kind of the definitive version. You get all the great DLC, including the Snoop Dogg level, where he's sitting on a throne in the background of the stage with a title, The Dog Father, right under him. I love that. Yeah, it's strange to say that the best version of a Tekken game is found on a Nintendo console, particularly the Wii U. But if you want to get a complete version of this game on disc with no bonus stuff that you need to buy separately like with the other versions, you got to get the Wii U version. By the way, Kuma in the Mario costume, classic. You got to play as a bear in a Mario costume, and you can only do that in this version. Okay. Moving on to a game that Sonic fans may have missed, that is Sonic Lost World, particularly the Deadly 6 bonus edition. So everyone knows I'm a big Sonic fan. So yeah, I like this game. This was like kind of during Sonic's like middle renaissance, kind of improving quality. Like this came after Colors and Generations, and this was a Wii U exclusive, which, you know, limited the market and appeal of the game to begin with. So not many people talk about this game, but not many people talk about it for another reason. It's not bad or good. It's like right in the middle. It's just like incredibly forgettable. It was kind of billed as a pseudo sequel to Colors. You know, it had a great look to it, very spherical. The whole gimmick was kind of like spherical gravity levels, almost akin to Mario Galaxy. And I don't really know what to say about it other than it's solid, it's inoffensive, but it's still only found on the Wii U. I severely doubt that this will be ported. Sonic games are very rarely ported. So if you're a fan, definitely check it out. My only complaints are the Deadly 6, the new enemies introduced in this, are kind of stupid. And that the game, at times, just doesn't feel like a Sonic game. It's not like super fast, but it's got a good look. It's got some great music as always, so check it out. What I'm holding here, the Deadly 6 bonus edition, includes the DLC for this game, which was very, very cool for me. The bonus DLC for this game included 3 special levels. There was a Yoshi level, themed level, there was a Legend of Zelda themed level, and the one that came with this bonus edition that I'm super excited to talk about is the Nights into Dreams DLC. So Nights into Dreams is like my favorite game of all time, or at least one of them aesthetically, and that game is not referenced enough, or they don't make enough of those games, so I'm glad whenever Nights is brought up at all. Basically, you go as Sonic through a boss rush of the bosses from Nights into Dreams. It's fantastic. It's worth checking out. If you get this game, definitely check out those bonus levels. I mean, how great is it not only to run around in Hyrule in a Yoshi level, but to go into Nights' world as Sonic? It's worth checking out. Sonic Lost World, still not too hard to get, but a Wii U exclusive, and it's probably going to remain so. Check it out. And following Lost World, I think less than a year later, of course, we got the infamous Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. So, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I haven't finished this game. This game just annoyed the hell out of me. It's pretty damn bad. However, it is still a Wii U exclusive. It is definitely going to remain a Wii U exclusive, and I've seen the price on this kind of go up. I feel like this will be rare because like it's so talked about. Like no one actually bought this, so there's not that many copies out there. I mean, for most Wii U games, there's not going to be a ton of copies out there, but like this in particular. So if you're looking to like collect Sonic games or just Wii U exclusive, keep your eye on this. I have a feeling this is going to disappear, and if not, it's worth a good laugh for just how jacked Knuckles is in this game. Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. Moving on. We are going to be taking a look at a game related to Sonic, but not a Sonic game. We are looking at Rodeo the Sky Soldier. Yeah, so this game was made by the creator of Sonic, Yuji Naka, who also did Ivy the Kiwi, fun little game on Wii. And it's kind of Knights inspired. You play as like this young anthropomorphic like robot boy named Rodeo, and it's kind of like a 3D air platformer. It's not bad. But what we're looking at here is the collector's edition of the game. This was also released on 3DS. What's special about the collector's edition of this game, it not only comes with the Wii U copy of the game, it comes with a Wii copy. Yeah, so this game was originally developed for the Wii and jumped to Wii U, but apparently that Wii game was done enough to get a disc in this version. This is actually a 2-disc game. You get 2 games if you buy this collector's edition, and that's pretty special. I mean, it was one of the last Wii games, and it's made by an icon of the industry. And what you get in this bonus edition, other than the nice art, which you can see there, kind of Rodeo standing in front of like this fantastic imagery there, you get the Wii version of the game, like I mentioned, but you also get, and let's see if I can get this all out for good. You get this nice art book, which I won't open because you might worry about Rodeo spoilers, but it's got a nice hardcover art book with it, and a lovely soundtrack. And guess what? The music for this game is pretty good. Yuji Naka Productions usually do have good music. So, if you're interested, this is definitely going to remain a Wii U exclusive. This game was not very successful. It came out somewhat late in the Wii's lifespan, and that Wii copy is only purchasable through this version, through this collector's edition, so definitely check that out. Try to get that soundtrack and art book too. Rodeo the Sky Soldier, the limited edition. Oh, and as a pre-order bonus for that game, at certain retailers, it also came with this bonus, the Key of Time. This is a little bit of a collectible item. It's a key item, no pun intended, in Rodeo. But if you can find this with your copy of the game or you're just interested, it's actually pretty nice. I keep it in the wrapping, but you can see it's got some weight to it and it's a nice design. Rodeo. Okay. Now moving on to a pack-in game that I just want to mention because this is what most people who bought a Wii U at launch played for the predominant part of the first year of launch because there wasn't a lot of games, and that is Nintendo Land. Yeah, Nintendo Land. This was kind of like the Wii Sports if you bought the deluxe, as in the more expensive version of the Wii U, and it's got some fun mini games that are fun with a group. They're not fantastic, but you could put some time into it. There was a Luigi's Mansion game in this. There's an Animal Crossing mini game in this, and it's like unique that some of these games are 5 players. Like you could have 4 people using Wiimotes or regular controllers, and 1 person using the gamepad, and that's just not portable. As in, it cannot be ported to other systems because, like example, in the Luigi's Mansion mini game, you are the ghost and you can see yourself on the gamepad, but the other people who are looking at the TV screen cannot see you, and it can lead to some fun shenanigans. They were actually invented with the gamepad in some ways with this, so it's worth checking out. I mean, if you pick up a used Wii U, this is definitely worth getting if it doesn't come with that package, because like I said, these games are going to be staying here. They're going to be on the Wii U. This isn't super rare, but if you have the console, this is worth checking out. The narrator and kind of the helper of this game, kind of the guide, Monita, I want her for Smash Brothers. It's literally just a walking monitor robot called Monita. Fantastic branding, fantastic name, Monita for Smash. Moving on though, we are talking about a true Wii U legend. We are talking about Devil's Third. Oh my God, what can I say about this game that hasn't already been said? This game is just, it's a miracle it exists. So if you don't know, which you may, but let's go over it. This is a Wii U exclusive that was produced by Valhalla Games, founded by Tomonobu Itagaki, the director of Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, as well as a number of the Dead or Alive games. In all regards, a pretty highly esteemed game director at the time, very good at action games and fighting games. He left or was fired from Team Ninja, depending on where you hear the story, formed his own studio, Valhalla Games, and announced this game, which took years to come out. It was originally going to be an Xbox 360 game, and then 5, 6, 7 years later, it finally launched on the Wii U, and it's just a train wreck. First off, this game is incredibly valuable and rare. I've heard rumors that there were only 420 to 4,000 copies of this game created, somewhere in that range. Not very many. So if you look up this game, it is incredibly expensive. And I hate to say, it's not worth that price unless you're into it for the camp value. This game is janky. It is a third-person action/shooter game where you play as Ivan, like this tattooed ex-con who needs to save the world. It is literally it is like an homage to B movies, but it's like a D game. It's not the worst game I ever played, but for the prices that this is going for, I don't know. But I bought this at launch because I was a fool. I was a fan of Itagaki, so I thought this game might be solid, and honestly, there weren't too many Wii U games coming out, so I kind of picked up any semi-big release coming out. Like I said, GameStop, it has been reported, only got 420 physical copies of this game, so this was kind of rare the day it came out, because I don't know how this got produced, but it is probably the most sought-after rare game in terms of actual rareness on the Wii U. It's kind of a gem in my collection. See if you have that kind of money to spend, pick it up, get a few laughs. But if you don't, I can't recommend spending hundreds of dollars on this game. But as a game collector, as someone who loved Team Ninja, it's really kind of sad to see their fall. But I needed to have a physical version, and I have it right here, and that is Devil's Third. I gotta finish this game someday. I can never bring myself to finish it, but yeah, man, that game's expensive. All right, now we're moving on to some collector's editions of games, and whether or not they're Wii U exclusive anymore isn't really an issue here. What we're talking about are the actual editions, because the Wii U had some fantastic collector's and limited, so let's talk about it. First one we're going to be looking at is the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD version. Now, this game is, of course, a GameCube and Wii title only, but it got the HD treatment on the Wii U, and as of this recording, it's still a Wii U exclusive. It's amazing to me that this hasn't been ported to the Switch yet, especially in this, the 35th anniversary year of The Legend of Zelda. But, you know, it's a fantastic version of the game. It is based off the GameCube version where Link is a lefty, but what came with the collector's edition particularly is the amiibo of semi-beloved character Midna. Yes, so this was the only way to get her at the time, and it's a nice figure. It's still pretty nice looking. I have it open, but I kind of like having her in the display of the box, and the box itself is pretty nice. If you pre-order this game at certain retailers, you could also get a limited soundtrack for the game. And if you want to play the best version of Twilight Princess, a pretty beloved game, you still got to get it on the Wii U. Unless they bring it to Switch, but they're really dragging their feet with that one. But yeah, Legend of Zelda Amiibo version, HD, on the Wii U. And now we move on to another Legend of Zelda game, my favorite Zelda game. We are talking about The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. I love this game. So, I am not the biggest Zelda fan in the world. I respect Zelda. I understand its importance in the gaming world. But it is not my favorite gaming series, and I have a weird take on this series, and one of them is that I think this is the best Zelda game, or at least it's my favorite. I shouldn't say I think it's the best, but this is definitely my favorite Zelda game, particularly this version. So, what comes with this edition? If you don't know, it of course comes with a physical version of the game, but it also comes with this lovely little figure of Toon Ganondorf. And I gotta say, I love Toondorf. I love big chunky dad bod Ganondorf. Like, this is just a fun little bonus, and this is decently sought after, but man, just look at that cover. This hasn't been ported to Switch yet either, and I can't believe it. Now, if you don't know, the advantages over the GameCube version is that you can get an item called the Swift Sail in this game, which lets you sail twice as fast and change direction on a whim. Also, the last mission, the Finding Charts and Pieces mission, has been drastically reduced. In other words, this is a less tedious version of this game. And I must say, just while I have your attention, I love the Wind Waker for a multitude of reasons, but the biggest reason is that Link is just dripping with personality in this game. He's kind of a plank of wood, and, you know, intentionally so in most versions, but I love that Toon Link's just kind of like a snarky little, like, you know, little bastard. I really like that. It kind of makes him be distinguished, and I just love the visuals of that game, and it's worth checking out. Wind Waker HD, particularly the collector's version on Wii U. But moving on to another collector's edition, we are talking about Super Smash Bros. 4, or Super Smash Bros. 4 Wii U, the official title. Yes, the fourth mainline Super Smash Bros. Game. Fifth, I guess, if you count Smash Bros. 3DS, which Sakurai says is like a whole nother numbered entry, but really the stages are just different. Some of the single player stuff is different. Regardless, this was a great game. This was a fantastic game on the Wii U. I mean, it has since been supplanted by the Switch version, but remember, this is the version that brought us Cloud and Bayonetta to Smash Brothers. Like, those were epic announcements. This game was fantastic at the time, and there was a nice collector's edition for this, and this was pretty sought after for a while. So what came with this collector's edition was a couple things. It came with this, the GameCube adapter, and particularly you could see on the front there that it says Wii U to distinguish it from the later released Switch version. What this allowed you to do was plug in GameCube controllers into your Wii U and have an 8-player Smash battle, which was pretty fantastic. This holds 4 GameCube controllers, and it also came with one of those GameCube controllers, which you can see right here. You can distinguish a Wii U GameCube controller from a Switch or earlier model GameCube controller by the flaming Smash Brothers symbol. I love it. I always thought that was one of the coolest symbols that you could put on the GameCube controller. It's my favorite model of it. And for a while, these were really sought after. Even the Switch GameCube adapter was really sought after Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out, but I was lucky because it's compatible with this Wii U version. It still works, so I just plugged in my Wii U version. It's the version I use on Smash Ultimate through this day. But it's a nice box, it's a nice little set, and it's a nice collectible to have. The collector's edition of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. All right. Now moving on to just a little oddity I wanted to bring up, because these games usually go under my radar despite me loving Mario and Sonic. We're talking about Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games in Sochi 2014. Yeah, so just as a quick note, this is your typical Winter Mario Olympics game, but there was a bundle with this very nice light blue Wiimote, Wii Motion Plus, that you could get for the Wii U, which it's so odd that the Wii U had a game that came bundled with a Wii Motion Plus controller, and this bundle is actually going for a little bit just for the box and the controller itself. It's not quite as rare as Mario and Sonic at the 2016 Rio games, which is quite expensive on the Wii U because there just aren't too many copies of that. I don't even have a physical version of that yet. But just in general, wanted to point out this was a little bundle that came out and is kind of sought after. It's a nice Wiimote too. I like that color. So moving on to another collector's edition, to a game that was recently ported to Switch a year or so ago, and that is Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp Fire Emblem. Yeah, that's how you say it. It's not Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE. That's Sharp Fire Emblem Special Edition. Regardless, this is a great JRPG if you don't know. Kind of a coming together of Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem. More Shin Megami Tensei for sure. It's like 80% Shin Megami with some Fire Emblem trappings, but still a fantastic game you should check out on Switch or Wii U. But what I wanted to highlight today was kind of this nice boxed Wii U version. This game came out very late in the Wii U's life cycle. It was announced very early, but just didn't drop for a while. So, of course, came with some DLC that is regularly purchasable on the Wii U to this day, so get that before it's delisted if you have the Wii U version. Came with some very nice stickers. Came with a soundtrack, and by the way, the music in this game is fantastic. This game, if you haven't played it, if you're a Persona or Shin Megami fan, do not sleep on this game. It also came with a really nice art book with some nice selections and concept art and costumes and bios. So yeah, I really enjoy this game. I wish this game got more attention. I mean, in this age where Shin Megami, generally Persona, but still Shin Megami and Fire Emblem are super popular, more popular than ever, you'd think that a kind of meeting of them would be a bigger hit. And that's just not the case. And this game got second life on the Switch, and I still don't think it sold fantastically, which is a real shame. Please check this game out. If you have the Wii U and you're a collector, though, I really love the box art, the little extras in this collector's edition. Tokyo Mirage Sessions. The whole thing is Tokyo Mirage Sessions, the letters, TMS, backwards SMT, Shin Megami Tensei. Weird, I know, but they kind of buried the lead of what this game was. If it was literally called Shin Megami or Persona Cross Fire Emblem, it would have sold better, but it's not what they did. Check it out regardless. Fantastic game. Put a lot of hours into this on both consoles. Replayed it on the Switch. All right, moving along to another game that started on the Wii U, was later ported. We are looking at a favorite of mine that is Yoshi's Woolly World. So, there is, of course, a sequel to this, Yoshi's Crafted World, on the Switch. It is not as good as this game. This game is fantastic. It goes into kind of the vein of Kirby's Epic Yarn, where Kirby was kind of like string in this game, and of course Yoshi, as if you couldn't tell, is just woolly in this. He's like made out of woolly yarn. Everything in this game looks fantastic. You want to touch it. It's fuzzy, it's soft. But not only that, this is a fun game. It's like a chill game with some fun music, but there are some legitimately difficult platforming parts, and there's a ton of collectibles. All Yoshi games are collectathons. This is ridiculous because it's a much bigger game than like Yoshi's Island on Super Nintendo. There's a lot to do. Now later on, this was ported to the 3DS with some more content, but the visuals were kind of toned down, and I believe the multiplayer was also removed. You actually play two-player in this. So this is kind of my preferred version. I wish this came to Switch with all the content, but sadly it's only on the 3DS, which kind of makes it the lesser version in some ways visually. Even though it has a bit more content, I still prefer the Wii U version. There was a collector's edition of this too. Came in this nice box with the Woolly Yoshi amiibo, which you can see in the center, which also came in a blue and pink variant. But I went with the green, and I think it's just a nice set. I think this game isn't talked about enough. It was actually a decent hit on the Wii U. I know it sold over 1 million copies, and I just think that it should get re-released because Crafted World, while fun, not as good as this game. Please check it out if you're a Yoshi or platforming fan, or if you have a Wii U and you just want a good game, Yoshi's Woolly World. Don't be fooled by how cutesy it looks. It can actually challenge you on a few occasions. Okay, we're getting near the end, but there are two more games I really want to talk about. The first one has been released on the Switch, and that is Bayonetta 2. Now, anecdotally, this is the game I got my Wii U for. I was kind of unsure about the Wii U. Like I said, I was getting more into the Wii near the end of its life cycle, but before the Wii U launched, it was announced that this game would be an exclusive on Wii U. Bayonetta was one of my favorite games on my Xbox 360, so when I saw that it was an exclusive to Wii U, I was like, getting it, need to have it. It was a miracle that this game got a sequel. It was funded partially by Sega in the first one, but that wasn't really happening as much in the second one, so they needed some help from Nintendo. So this game has the DNA of Sega, Nintendo, and Platinum games running through it. Remember, Platinum is the old Clover Studios from Capcom, so you kind of had Capcom, Sega, and Nintendo all be cooks in the kitchen for this game. That's like a miracle to anyone like me who grew up in the 90s. And it shows. This game's quality is just out of control. Now, of course, it was re-released on Switch. Play this game any way you can. This is like my favorite action game of all time. Like this I don't even think Devil May Cry 5 or Ninja Gaiden 2 like were able to step to this game. Like I just couldn't put it down. It had a decent multiplayer mode. It was over the top. It had references to other games all over the place. I cannot wait for Bayonetta 3. That is also one of the main reasons I bought a Switch at launch. Silly me. 3.5, almost 4 years later, that game's still not out. But what's unique about this game on the Wii U is that there were later reprints of this game after Bayonetta was announced in Smash Brothers. Kind of, I guess the popularity or interest in the game kind of surged. But the first prints of this game came with 2 discs. And obviously it had Bayonetta 2 on 1 disc, but it had Bayonetta 1 on another disc. Now, this version of Bayonetta 1 is special. It had bonus costumes where Bayonetta could be Samus, Peach, and Link, which is also available on the Switch, but in the US at least, it's digital only. So if you want a physical version of Bayonetta with all the bells and whistles, the extra costumes, you still need to get this version. You can distinguish it pretty easily by having this bonus Bayonetta 1 sticker on it. It's not a sticker, by the way. It's actually part of the cover. So there are 2 versions of this game. This one's a little bit harder to find because it was the launch version. But regardless, like I said, I just wanted to talk about this game. This game is perfect. Like the perfect game in its genre. And it's so strange that Bayonetta is now kind of, at least 2 and 3, you know, more games are Nintendo exclusive than not, is a Nintendo IP. Bayonetta may be my favorite Nintendo character and series now. How weird is that to say? Bayonetta 2, check it out. Try to get that physical of part 1. And now we are on to my rarest and most valuable Nintendo Wii U game. This is something you do not see everywhere. Despite this being the most popular game on the Wii U and Switch, most people do not talk about this edition, and that is the Mario Kart 8 Limited Edition. Yes, so of course, Mario Kart 8, if you have a Switch or a Wii U, you probably already have this game, but this edition is pretty valuable. The prices for this are touching $1,000 at the recording of this. Now, what is it? Well, it of course comes with the game, Mario Kart 8, the Wii U version, which obviously got more enhanced on the Switch, but it came with this bonus, everyone's favorite item in Mario Kart, the bonus blue shell. Whoop. And yeah, it's not much, but the reason why this is kind of so sought after is how you got it. As I assemble this, please forgive. This was only available on launch day in the Nintendo store in New York City. So back in May 2014, I was able to travel back to the same Nintendo store that I bought the system at and pick this up. And I got the last one. I went with my roommate at the time, and we were online, and it was quite a long line around Times Square to get this, or through New York City to get this, Rockefeller Center. And we got up to buy them, and there were 2 registers in the Nintendo store upstairs. And my friend went first, got his copy of the collector's edition, and on the other side was a gentleman buying his copy, and they said my roommate, he got the last one. I was behind him. They were gone. I was literally, I wasn't gonna have this game. I was one person too short. However, miracle, the gentleman on the right, his credit card was declined. He couldn't buy the game. I got his copy. So I got the last copy of this very sought after collector's edition because of a fluke, because of sheer luck. And like I said, not many people even know this exists. I didn't think it would be that rare, but yeah, this was only sold there in the US for a short amount of time. So good luck finding this. If you can even find a copy, it's ridiculous how much it's being asked for. It's literally just this blue shell and the copy of the game in a box, but if you're looking for a rare game, that's kind of it. That's kind of one of the peaks. And I gotta say, after going through this, you know what? The Wii U had a pretty solid library at the end. Of course, you know, not as solid as a library of maybe some other consoles, contemporaries, and it didn't have quite the horsepower of the PS4 and the Xbox One, which launched a year later, and now it's basically forgotten, other than the console that people want games ported over from ported over to Switch for. But I had some love for it. I had a lot of good times with this, playing Smash, Bayonetta, and, you know, New Super Mario Brothers 3D, all games that have kind of been ported over to Switch. And of course there was some, you know, Splatoon, which is now a major franchise, started on the Wii U. And there were some other great things about it too. If you have this console and you are connected to the internet, it is the only way that you can get Earthbound Beginnings, the first game in the Mother series that was finally brought over to the United States. It's not the one people wanted. Everyone wants Mother 3, but Reggie Fils-Aimé looked right in your face and said, "Hey US, you're getting Mother 1." And everyone just kind of sunk like, okay, that's great. But yet, as of now, it is the only way to play that game. It has not been brought over to Switch or any other console for that matter. And other than 3DS, it's the only way that you could also download Earthbound itself, Mother 2, in the US and play it on a console, unless you have the original Super Nintendo version or the Super Nintendo Mini. So that's something to keep in mind. The eShop on the Wii U is something I want to make a future video on, because you know what? It's probably going to be taken down in the not too distant future, much like the Wii was. And there's some titles that are exclusive to it that you definitely want to check out. So, and that's where I spend a lot of my time on this console. I could go on about the Wii U for quite a bit, but that's where I'm going to wrap it up today, because you know what? I think I've covered everything. Thank you for joining me on this quite long journey as I talk about a console that you probably didn't have or know anyone who did have, but it had some heart and it had some great titles. If you've liked what you've seen, please consider liking and subscribing. My name is Mike. This has been Chip Damage, the rare, the weird, and the expensive, and thank you for watching. Please take care of yourself.